G'day YouTube, Zeus29 back with you again, and welcome to our week 2 team building video for the UBC, the United Battle Championship. I am, of course, your head coach of the Tampa Bay Frogadiers, and this week we will be going up against the San Francisco Seakings, coached by Tommy. So Tommy came off a really surprising victory in round 1. Nobody really saw it coming, but he was able to 6-0 jack the Miendoge, which, you want to stay with me? You want to chill out for a bit? You want to go out? Alright. Anyway, he was up against Jack and was able to actually sweep. Ended up getting a, I think it was like a 5-0 victory, and so that kind of shocked the world. And so now I got to battle in round 2, and I've just come off a really hard-fought round 1 victory, so I'm feeling a bit frazzled, guys. But let's just quickly pull up his team so you can see it. It should be right here for you. San Francisco Seakings. He has Victini, Garchomp, Shaman, Porygon 2, Noivern, Slacking, Zapdos, Suicune, Blaziken, Weezing, and Mega Sizzle. So, a very, very scary team, but I think I've built a really good team to counter it. I feel that, you know, every Pokemon here has a purpose, and I actually feel a lot stronger about this match than I do about the match against Stab. I don't know if that's going to bode well for me in the battle, but I do feel like I've now got the hang of a few Pokemon. Like, you know, Kieran was a little bit iffy about, and I was a bit iffy about, but I'm now getting the hang of it, and I think we're looking good for this week. Anyway, let's break into this team. So basically, one of the biggest problems for my team, again, is that I don't really have a good switching to a big threat. Last time it was Tyrantrum, this time it is Victini. Victini is kind of scary, guys. Banded Victini's Wild Charge does about 80%, like can do a maximum of 80% to fully defensive Slowbro. It is a bit scary, but that being said, by the damage I can see from Victini, I can definitely play around it, which is why defensive Slowbro is definitely the way to go against Victini this week. Basically, I can tell if he's mixed attacker. He could be E-Belt, and if he's E-Belt, I've already calculated exactly how much that should do, and I can prepare for the possible Grass Knot afterwards and play accordingly. I have to be very careful around this Victini, as it is a very scary Pokemon to have to deal with. It is probably the biggest threat to my entire team, so if I don't play smart around it, I am definitely going to lose this battle. So, game plan is, if I play smart, I'll win. So Slowbro is basically designed to take hits. He has a few really scary physical threats that can set up. Slowbro isn't designed to stop them, per se. It currently has Calm Mind as its last move. I may decide to change that to Thunder Wave if I feel that the threat of Victini is a little bit too much for my team. At this point in time, I'm not too worried about Victini. I feel like I can deal with it, but at the same time, being able to Thunder Wave it would be a very big advantage for my team in a sense of battle. And as much as, yeah, I don't really see myself Calm Minding up that much, to be honest. So I'm gonna chuck on Thunder Wave. I think Thunder Wave is the best choice there for Slowbro. I may EV it differently as well if I maybe want to take the Grass Knot, but honestly I'm not really too fussed about Grass Knot, because the basic premise is I lead out with this. If he leads out with Garchomp, I can fire for free Scald if he tries to set up rocks, and if I burn Garchomp, awesome. Garchomp is now no longer a threat to my team. Fantastic. I expect him to lead Teeny, and if he doesn't have Substitute, then we get a free Thunder Wave, and if he does have Substitute, we can break it easily with Scald as he Wild Charges, and that means that he's not banded, which means that Wild Charge might be a 2-KO if he's Adamant, but then again, if he is Adamant or any nature that isn't amazing speed, he will get outsped by things like Gliscor, and I believe maximum speed Kyurem, so that is something that he will have to watch out for and have to play safely around. So I think because he has to run so much speed, Slowbro could be a really nice check, which is why initially I had Calm Mind, but I think Thunder Wave is safer here because Scald is still doing about 40% every time to Victini. I'm not running Rocks this week, so I really wish I could have brought Rocks, but honestly, there was no way that I could fit Rocks on Clefable, and there was no real way for me to bring Gliscor, as he had too many easy checks to it, the main one being Zapdos. So I think Slowbro is pretty good. The basic job of Slowbro is to check things such as Garchomp and Victini, two very, very large threats that he possesses. They are basically going to be shut down by Slowbro this week. Next we come up to the Suicune counter of my team. Seems really weird, but trust me, this set is going to be immensely good for me. I discovered that Suicune itself is a very good mon, but I can definitely break it down with this Clefable set. Basically, by Cosmic Powering Up, I can easily 1v1 Suicune. As he Calm Minds, I can Cosmic Power, and because I'm fully specially defensive, I can set up to full, and even with the burn, I'm basically taking maybe 6% every time, and I have Soft Boiled just in case. And then he'll be fully boosted up, I will fully boost it up. But then I revealed the secret weapon, which is the Charge Beam. The Charge Beam, boys, is going to be amazing. Charge Beam will allow me to get to +6 special attack, and if I do that, I'm +6 in 3 different stats, which means stored power is going to be doing a ridiculous amount of damage. It's an easy 2 KO on any Suicune set, which means that basically Suicune would have to rest, but even if it rests, I can easily just 2 KO it with the stored power. Suicune is gone, and then at that stage, Clefable is so far set up that he would need a crit on a Pokemon in order to beat me. I can even just get up a couple of Cosmic Powers, and then stored power basically does enough to kill Weezing as well, so Clear Smog Weezing isn't too big of a threat to my team. I would even go as far to say that there's not really too much he has. Like, he has Mega Scissor, obviously, but if I set up a few Cosmic Powers, he'd have to SD in order to stop me, and at that stage, I do have a few switch-ins to Mega Scissor on my team. But basically, Clefable is looking like a very strong Pokemon. Basically, the moment that Scizor goes down, my opponent doesn't really have a genuinely good counter to this thing. By running specially defensive, I can also easily come in on Suicune every single time I want to. It's not exactly the perma Suicune switch because I have other things that can come in on it, but it is a very solid option against a lot of his special attackers. This thing can also set up quite nicely onto Porygon 2, especially if Porygon 2 makes the mistake of going for Toxic on me, because if I can get any kind of status condition, actually no, the burn from Suicune won't even matter because I'm Magic Guard. Yo, I forgot, I'm so dumb. So we definitely 1v1 Suicune so easily with this thing. The only thing on this team that really checks it is a setup sweeper, and the only one that really threatens me is Scizor, because even if Garchomp SDs, if we already have enough Cosmic Powers up, Store Power's doing a ton anyway, because Clefable still has decent special attacks, so I ain't worried about nothing, man. I think John Cena's probably going to sweep, honestly. Anyway, we move on. Kim Jong-il returns again this week. He put in some crazy work last week. Unfortunately, didn't get the kill that he deserved on Manaphy because it was crit, but he's come back this week with a vengeance. This time he has swapped out, I believe it was Dragon Tail for Hidden Power Ice, so that Garchomp and Noivern can go bye-bye without doing much to my team. If I can kill Garchomp with this Electros, I'm going to be on cloud 9, to be honest. Knockoff is there because it allows me to knock off like lots of leftovers and whatnot. And Eeviola on Porygon 2, which would be massive if I can knock that off. That's going to flip the game on its head, I think, if I can knock that off. Volt Switch is for pretty good utility. His only switch into a Volt Switch is either his Zapdos, I guess, maybe, or his Garchomp, and if he comes in with Garchomp and gets Volt Switch, it's a free HP Ice, so no big deal for me. Flamethrower is basically just there to knock down the Scizor, take it down a peg. Also hits the Shaman really, really hard. I know HP Ice does as well, but Flamethrower killing the Scizor is very, very paramount, as I said, if I want to sweep with my Clefable at the end. This thing is going to be a fantastic pivot. Although I won't be able to get rid of rocks, I think it won't really deter from Electros too much, and this is my primary switch into Pokemon such as Zapdos, who can be a little bit threatening, but by using Knockoff and then Volt Switch, I can kind of easily maneuver around it. Now we come to a few more of the heavy hitters of the team. I'm actually running a pretty offensive team. Like, Clefable and Slowbro are a pretty nice little defensive core, and then we kick it up a notch. Like, Electros is pretty offensive. This Kyurem set I am very excited to use. It is specially offensive Kyurem. Now, both Kyurem has base 130 attack and special attack, but the thing is, he doesn't really have a Kyurem switch-in. His best Kyurem switch-in I can see on his team is looking like being that Porygon 2, which is why Electros is very important, because if I can knock off that the Eviolite, Focus Blast is basically destroying Porygon 2's life. It gets to the point where almost Draco Meteor plus Focus Blast kills P2. Draco is basically there because it kills Suicune from full if it is defensive. Pretty much, like, it's a roll in my favor, and even if he lives, he will just die to Ice Beam from there because he's got so far gone with his health. This thing decimates Tommy's team. His only, like I said, his only switch-in really on his entire team is that Porygon 2. If he doesn't bring Porygon 2, he's screwed. I'm running HP Fire because Scissor's an Adamant Mega Scissor's Bullet Punch to this Kyurem set does, I think, a maximum of 60%. And in return, Hidden Power Fire straight up kills, which is awesome. That's just insane. I am running 274 speed. You might be wondering, why would you be doing that? That is on the off chance he is running offensive Scizor with Iron Head, which I think he might do, just because if he does that, he realizes that like Bullet Punch isn't really that useful. You think about it, I got Slowbro on my team, I got Spit Roast chilling there as well, and I have a Mega Gyarados. So I feel that if he's gonna run a Steel move, he's gonna need to run Iron Head, or he's gonna run the Superpower for the Mega Gyarados, plus it hits the Emboar for decent damage, and it hits Kyurem. So by running 274 speed, it allows us to outspeed any variant of Scizor and be able to kill it straight up. And that was really important for me because I don't want to make the same mistake as last time where he gets Scarfed. He can't be Scarfed, so this Kyurem speed creep is going to work. It also means that if I've discovered that he's defensive Garchomp, I will outspeed that 100% of the time and knock that thing down a few pegs. So that is also very, very important. This thing is my major wall breaker of the team. The only thing that gets close to breaking walls like that thing is this awesome secret weapon that I swear he won't see coming. Picture this, guys. I did the calcs already. I know that Emboar's Wild Charge does about 60% if I'm adamant to Suicune. Okay? So, I'm thinking he could possibly bring in Garchomp for this set, but that's okay, because at the end of the day, it's a situation where Emboar is in against Scizor. That's the basic situation I want to see, because if I'm him, I'm going straight to Suicune, because at the end of the day, you're taking a Flare Blitz, you know that you can live a Wild Charge, no matter what. You get a free Carmine, or a free Scald, happy days. Right? Wrong. This is a Sunny Day Life Orb Destruction. Oh, you are not running leftovers, my friend. Almost made that mistake. This is a Destruction Emboar set. We are running enough speed to outspeed Suicune if he decides to chuck 4 Speed EVs on it, which he might just do as a random, you know, let's just chuck him in there, why not? Because sometimes people do that. I don't foresee him running any more speed in Suicune, because there is nothing that he necessarily needs to outspeed. I have a very slow team, he'll try and take advantage of that, I can get that. And so by doing that, we definitely will outspeed Suicune, and Solar Beam in the Sun with Life Orb, max special attack, does a minimum of about 50... what was it? Do I have the calc up here? Yeah. 68.3 to 80.4. Now, you're thinking, oh, but you know, what if he gets his calm mind off on that turn, you know, thinking he's safe? If he does that, we still kill him next turn no matter what. Basically, this Emboar is going to set up the Sun as Suicune comes in, and he's going to realize he's in trouble, because Solar Beam plus Focus Blast kills Porygon 2. Solar Beam does like 30 to 40% to Garchomp. 50% probably if he isn't if he isn't bulky Chomp. So this Emboar set is a game changer for me. It really does change the game, because he's going to expect physically offensive Emboar, and so Suicune is a very simple, easy switch in. There is no way he doesn't bring Suicune to this battle. There's no way it isn't his answer to Emboar. I really wanted to run HP Ice, so I'm not going to lie. I wanted to speed creep Garchomp, like defensive Chomp, run the HP Ice, blow that thing back, as Garchomp could also be a check to Emboar. I really wanted to do that, but I just felt that it wasn't really worth it, since I already had, you know, Slowbro in the back, I already had Clefable even in the back, and Eel, and possibly Swiss outspeeding it generally. I felt that there was no need to speed creep up to Garchomp's level. All I needed to speed creep was to Suicune's level. This will allow my Emboar to easily set up the Sun and blow that thing away, and if Suicune goes down, it makes like Pokemon such as Gyarados' job a lot easier, and it's just a really big surprise factor. And the thing is, he doesn't really have a switch in to specially offensive Emboar either. Like, I looked at his team and he has a few really good walls, but Sunny Day Fire Blast is scary for his team. So I really feel it will catch him off guard, and we'll be able to put in a fair bit of work with this monstrosity of a Pokemon. He's flaming. To finish the team off, I'm going with a really cool Gyarados set. I really wanted to use Gyarados in round 1, but unfortunately there were far too many threats for me to use it. There aren't the threats that I see last time here today against Gyarados. The only Pokemon that scares me is Shaman. And I'm not really too worried about Shaman, because I have Kyurem, which can take it on pretty well, although Deaglean is a factor. I really wish I was running Unaware Clef, but I also kind of am glad that I'm not, because obviously he can get the special defense drop with Seed Flare, which could be frustrating. So Shaman is a bit of a iffy one, but you know what? This Gyarados can take Seed Flares if it needs to. This is a really cool Gyarados set, honestly. It is, obviously it's Cocktail, my Gyarados, and it is a Rest Talk set. Now, my opponent has pretty much second to no resistances to Crunch. His only resistance to Crunch is a Blaziken, and Blaziken loses 1v1 to Slowbro every day of the week, unless he chooses to be Sunny Day Blaziken as well, and then I'm just like, oh lord, how can I compete with this upper echelon of people? But basically, Gyarados is another secret win con with Clefable. Like I said, not the ideal matchup against Shaman, but the thing is, he may not bring Shaman because he knows that I have an Amoonguss in the back. I have an Amoonguss who hasn't been used yet, but Amoonguss actually has a decent matchup against his team, so I feel like he might fear the Amoonguss. And at the end of the day, I feel he has to bring Sizzle. He has to bring P2, he has to bring all these other things. Shaman probably isn't going to come, and even if it does, I can find ways around it. It's not as if Shaman is like this Pokemon that just destroys my entire team. For example, I can predict the Seed Flare, go out to Swiss, then predict the D-Gleam, go out to Clefable, and I'm sitting pretty, because even if he gets the Seed Flare, you know, drops, we can make it work. We can work around the issue. It's not like, I mean, technically, yeah, Shaman does destroy our team, but that's not the point, guys. Focus. Come on. It's unlikely to happen. Plus, think about it. Even if Shaman ran that set, if I'm Shaman, I'm running D-Gleam, Seed Flare, maybe Earth Power or Psychic, I don't know. But the thing is, if he's not running Earth Power or Psychic, then Emboar just beats anyway. But my point is that this Gyarados can effectively set up on his entire team, and has the ability just to sweep by itself. Porygon 2 can't touch this, because the moment it Toxics it, it's not really going to matter, because I can just rest it off every single time. And the reason why I say that Shaman isn't really too big of an issue to my team is the fact that if Shaman isn't in against this Gyarados, then it's not really going to stand much of a chance. Like, you think about it, Shaman's going to come in at the point when this Gyarados is already at least +1. And I can show you right now that if we have, sorry, it's actually, funnily enough, a set on here. I love this set. I love this set. Honestly, I've used it in the past, and it's so good. Let's say we're up against Life Orb Shaman. So Life Orb Shaman, Seed Flare, as you can see, doesn't even kill us from full. It doesn't even kill us. Are you freaking kidding me, Gyarados? You monster. You monstrosity of a Pokemon. Oh, by the way, we're running the 16 speed, oh no, the 8 speed, because that allows us, after a Dragon Dance, to outspeed Adamant Victini on the off chance that he does choose to bring Banded. So after 1 DD, we can beat it. So this is Crunch normally is just doing 37 to 43.9. If we get to +1, it's doing a ridiculous amount. If Shaman for some reason doesn't come in until we're +2, Seed Flare can't kill us if we're still at full health. And Crunch is doing ridiculous damage. And of course, as you know, by the time we get to +3, there is no more Shaman. I have a very good chance to kill it straight up, and if he's Life Orb, he will just go down. Which is what it's saying here. If he is Life Orb Shaman, he's just going to drop. So that's why I'm not really too worried about Shaman. This thing can basically Mega Evolve up, and if he goes out to Shaman, I can 2-hit KO with Crunch, and he can't even OHKO me unless he is modest Life Orb. And honestly, I wouldn't even be too fussed losing Cocktail at that point. Cocktail isn't necessarily my win con, John Cena is. So it would be annoying to lose it, but honestly, I don't even think I would. If I'm him, I'm running Timid Shaman if I'm going to bring it. I don't even know if he's going to bring it, and honestly, it's not really a big deal to me. I think that Cocktail is going to put in an immense amount of work, because honestly, his team, if you look back at it, his team doesn't really have a check for it. Garchomp, maybe, if it's running Dragon Tail, can effectively check it, but if he doesn't have Dragon Tail, he's going to have to try and SD up to beat me, and eventually I can just beat him 1v1 anyway, but I don't know, I just think that it has such a good time, because Zapdos's Thunderbolt does about half to it with this special defense, but I just feel that this is probably the best way that I can use Gyarados, because actually, see, here's where I'm getting the issue, guys. It's like a 50-50 for me. I know that offensive Gyarados is freaking insane against his team too, because I can run Crunch to crush Victini, Ice Fang so that Garchomp and Shaman, Noivern, Zapdos, they all get wrecked by it. I can still just run Crunch in general to do good damage. I can run Waterfall to blow through things like Wheezing, Victini if I want to do Blaze again. But then again, because I have Mold Break, I can just run EQ and Blaze through them all. And that's the thing, because if you look at the calculator, and if we, don't look at this Mega Gyarados, if we looked at, like, your Uber Gyarados, right, this is, like, the upper class Gyarados, and we compared Ice Fang and Crunch. So this is now looking at, like, Adamant, Mold Breaker, Absolute Beast mode. If Shaman now comes in, obviously Seaflare is going to kill us, right? But if we're at +1, we're taking this Shaman down with us. Like, if he doesn't go into Shaman straight away, Shaman's going to get destroyed. And if he is Life Orb, as you can see, from that amount of damage, he's probably going to lose his Shaman anyway. And so Shaman isn't going to be a big deal, because then we can just kill it with Clefable if he doesn't have the rest. So I'm really thinking offensive is best, because at +1, we're pretty much destroying everything anyway. The only thing we don't beat is Porygon or Suicune, but by the time Gyarados comes in, Suicune should be taken care of, and Porygon shouldn't have an Eviolite. So I'm thinking, actually, now that I look back on it, that the offensive Dragon Dance is probably the best way to go, because it is probably our late game sweeper. At the end of the day, if he doesn't have a switch into this thing, he's just going to lose. I think, honestly, it is our best bet. We're going to run Intimidate just because it also gives us an advantage coming in against things like Scizor if we wanted to. Getting the free Mega off, but then again, probably wouldn't do it against Scizor. I'd probably try and come in against something that I have a bit more of an advantage against. Say, example, Victini. I could easily set up on Victini even if it was banded, I think. No, that would be a lie. But, I don't know. I think that offensive Gyarados might work a bit better for this battle. Just, I like the bulky set, but I also feel that if I'm going to be going up against Shaman at some point, and also his other attackers, this Gyarados set effectively just destroys them all single-handedly. And again, like I said, can open the door for Clefable to sweep, because obviously at +1, Gyarados' Crunch is probably doing a huge number to even like defensive Suicune. I would even just assume. Yeah, +1 Crunch is a guaranteed 3KO, but then again, like Scald, as you can see, does literally 0. If we get to +2, we're definitely killing that Suicune. So if he doesn't burn us, we're in a good spot. So my point, guys, I ramble. I don't know why I ramble. My point is, this Gyarados is my main physical attacker. For the fact that if you look at his team, it's not like I need a strong physical attacker. He has ways to stop physical attackers left, right, and center on his team. What he doesn't have is a really solid way to stop a special attacker. Like, his only real way is P2, and P2 is going to get absolutely mollywopped in this battle, as you know from the sets that we have. So I feel very, very confident about our chances going in. Like I said, I feel that 9 times out of 10 we lead with Slowbro because it has the most phenomenal matchup against the entirety of my opponent's team. And we have so many little options we can go with. For example, like freaking Kim Jong-il can probably deal with our friend Shaman anyway. Like you can see I'm doing tons of damage to Suicune as well. I did all these calcs before, but like Life Orb, Shaman, Seed Flare does like a decent amount. But at the end of the day, like look at this! Quiet Flamethrower rips it apart. Just Shaman all over the floor, just gone. Oh, that's a Flamethrower on the sun. That's awkward. It's awkward. But still, like it's doing over half, which basically puts Shaman in +1 crunch range anyway. So the moment Shaman kills Gyarados, Electrosis comes in and gets killed. So yeah, why was I... Guys, I don't know why I changed my mind so much when, honestly, I knew what I was doing the whole time. And then I make these teams and I question my decisions, and there's no reason for me to question this. I made these teams for a reason. I knew what I was doing at the time of making them, and yet I still somehow find myself questioning myself, and it's just so silly. That's the set I wanted the whole time. I should have, I don't know. Gyarados deals with Shaman. I'm not worried because Gyarados can do enough damage to it to the point where Kim Jong-il kills it anyway. Like, I knew this already and I just keep second-guessing myself. This is basically the team, guys. I feel very, very good about it, honestly. I feel that I have a very solid matchup against him. I have to watch out for setup sweepers, obviously. SD Garchomp is a very, very scary Pokemon. As you can see, my team doesn't look ideal against it. Maybe Kim Jong-il can take a Garchomp hit. I don't know. I'm assuming maybe? Yeah? That's jolly, though. Maybe. I don't think he's going to bring SD Chomp anyway, because just... I don't know. I don't think it's ideal, and also his chances to SD against the Lumber team are very limited. He could do it maybe against Emboar if he comes in, but I'm going to try and play Emboar a bit smarter than that. I'm going to try and play the whole team a bit smarter, plus I can get a potential Intimidated off with Gyarados, which could be beneficial in the long run. I think we'll be good though, guys. Honestly, we lead Slowbro, we have no worries, we have a really good win con Clefable. I'm really wishing I could run Unaware, but honestly, this set will work. This set, I feel that it will work. He does have the Garchomp, which is a little bit scary because I feel like he might run Poison Jab. But you know what? I think this team can handle it. I think this team will do the job and get the job done and get us our second win for the season. If you guys are excited, smash out the like button. Your support is so greatly appreciated. Make sure you also check out the battle video that will be up soon. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. D29 is going to be signing out when I find the record screen thing. It's right here. Also, let me know what you think is going to be the best Pokemon this week. Let me know if there was a Pokemon maybe I should have brought that I've chosen not to. Obviously, it'll be too late by the time you see the video, but I really think this team is going to tear him apart. But let me know what you guys think. It's D29, signing out.